The FBI has raided the headquarters of one of the nation's largest operators of psychiatric hospitals.
Hundreds complained of overbilling, misdiagnosed conditions, and insurance fraud.
Investigators say they found more than 5,000 similar cases in all 50 states.
Psychiatrists clearly are getting rich.
Psychiatrists traded drugs for sex, filed false insurance claims, and exploited patients sexually.
We have uncovered some of the most elaborate, aggressive, creative, deceptive, immoral, and illegal schemes being used to fill empty hospital beds with insured and paying patients.
Todos os psiquiatras fazem um juramento de seguir um código de conduta ética, de pôr o cuidado dos seus pacientes acima de tudo. Mas de todas as disciplinas médicas, a psiquiatria tem o pior registro de fraude e abuso.
Psychiatry is almost a license to print money. If a doctor were clever enough, and many of them are, there's no reason that they couldn't make at least $500,000 a year fraudulently and get away with it in psychiatry.
I don't purport to have deposed every psychiatrist in Las Vegas. I can tell you for a fact I haven't. Maybe I've deposed half, and by and large they were a dishonest, deceitful, lying bunch of people.
As suas práticas de faturação duvidosa e criminosa são tão frequentes que os investigadores de seguros têm uma frase de gíria para isso: o agitar da Califórnia e aperto de mão de $100.
$100 handshake is when usually a patient is institutionalized. Psychiatrist, psychologist will visit that person, shake hands with them, say, hello, I'm Dr. So-and-so, I'm taking care of your problem here, and then leaves.
They might have 10 or 20 patients there. They bill an hour for each one, and they might be in the hospital for a total of 30 minutes. So 20 patients, 20 hours, and they'd send the bills off to Medicaid.
We see that most of the victims of recovered memory therapy were women who had excellent health insurance, whether it was government insurance or private insurance, because many insurance policies wouldn't pay for this kind of long-term nonsense. So those people were targeted because of the nature of the insurance that they had.
Todos os anos, a indústria psiquiátrica dos Estados Unidos defrauda as seguradoras de governo e privadas em $40 mil milhões, a utilizar quaisquer meios possíveis para enganar o público.
There were some advertisements, very seductive advertisements for people wanting to lose weight and were having problems losing weight. And they would be given, all expenses paid to go to a particular spa. But when they got to this spa and went in and signed in, it wasn't a spa, it was a psychiatric center. And then they couldn't get out.
What instead they received massive doses of mind-altering drugs, and they were kept for a lengthy period of time, and their insurance carrier was billed tremendous amounts of money for something that was unnecessary.
Mas as suas mentiras vão mais além dos seus departamentos e chegam aos tribunais, onde, como testemunhas pagas, dirão qualquer coisa para cobrar os seus honorários.
A psychiatric expert who will have one opinion in one scenario and a completely opposite opinion in another scenario based on which law firm or governmental agency is paying for his time.
These psychiatrists, on one hand, will tell the public that suicide can be prevented, but will go into court and tell a jury that suicide cannot be prevented. And then once you show his prior inconsistent statements, you also show that he is paid very well by pharmaceuticals, then the jury says, you know what, we're not so sure about you because you just lied to us.
Adicionamos à sua cobiça, desonestidade e avareza os seus crimes sexuais. Sendo apenas 6% de todos os médicos do país, os psiquiatras são responsáveis por quase 1/3 dos delitos sexuais cometidos por médicos.
It has happened so often that by the mid-80s, the insurance companies who insure physicians across America started writing sexual claims out of the policies altogether. That's how common it was.
The system was so broken that more than 25,000 complaints had been registered, but nothing acted upon. When a psychiatrist has a patient, a female patient, and abuse them sexually, there's a very high probability they'll get away with it.
I've seen many cases where the mental health professional becomes very disturbed and is using very strange and odd treatments, and that can go on for many years with no one finding out about it because it's not very public. It's quite private. Things happen behind closed doors.
Infelizmente, os seus crimes sexuais frequentemente envolvem crianças. Um bom exemplo é o Dr. C. Markham Barry, aparentemente um membro muito respeitado da sua comunidade. Mas tudo isso acabou quando foi preso por acusação de assédio sexual a crianças. Carrinhas carregadas de pornografia infantil foram retiradas da sua casa e a investigação subsequente descobriu que ele havia abusado sexualmente de antigos pacientes, rapazes de 7 a 17 anos, os quais fotografou e dos quais abusou sexualmente. Tudo era parte do que o Estado chamou de os 50 anos de aventuras sexuais infantis desenfreadas e não detectadas de Barry. Este não é um incidente isolado. É o caráter cuidadosamente mascarado dos membros desta profissão. Em todas as cidades, estados e países, serão encontrados psiquiatras a cometer violações, abuso sexual, assassinato e fraude. E como verá, toda a credibilidade da psiquiatria depende da maior fraude de todas.